David's heart stopped. For a moment, the world disappeared. When she pulled back, her cheeks turned red. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "I didn't mean to. I just—" David touched her hand. "No," he whispered. "Don't be sorry." They both looked away, smiling nervously, their hearts racing. No more words were said. They sat in silence, their hands gently touching. Something had changed. That evening David got home. He walked in quietly, like always. His mother was in the kitchen, slicing vegetables. "Welcome, my son," she said, smiling. "Good evening, Mum," David replied. Then something strange happened. His mother didn't cover her nose. But then she froze. Slowly she stepped back and looked at him with wide eyes. David looked confused. "Mum, what is it?" She didn't say anything. She moved closer again, her face right in front of his. She sniffed the air carefully. Her eyes widened even more. David stepped back, starting to panic. "Mum, are you okay?" His mother gasped. "David, your mouth." He blinked. "What about it?" She placed both hands on his shoulders. "I can't smell anything. Nothing. Not even a little. The odor, it's gone." David stared at her, frozen. "What?" His mother nodded quickly, checking again just to be sure. "It's gone, David. I'm telling you, you just spoke, and there was no smell at all. Nothing." David touched his lips in shock. "Are you serious?" he asked, almost in a whisper. "Yes, my son. For the first time in years, I didn't cover my nose. And I didn't even think about it." David sat down slowly, his hands shaking. "This can't be." His mother sat beside him. "What happened at school today? Tell me everything." David took a deep breath. He told her how he and Annabelle sat under the tree, how they talked, how she didn't care about his breath, and how, after a moment of silence, she kissed him. His mother covered her mouth with both hands. She was in shock. "She kissed you?" she asked. David nodded. "And it felt real," he said softly. "I didn't expect it. I didn't even ask for it. But it was like something in her heart reached mine." His mother couldn't stop the tears from flowing. "David, do you remember what the prophet said?" "Yes," he nodded slowly. "That only true love can break the curse." His mother stood up and raised her hands to the sky. "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. You have done it." David sat there, still frozen in disbelief. A smile slowly formed on his face. "Mum," he said, "I think I'm free." His mother came back and hugged him tightly. "You're free, David. My son, you are finally free. You must marry that girl. She is an angel. Please invite her over this weekend." David said, "Definitely, Mum." And in that moment, the house was filled with peace. The weight David had carried for years had been lifted. The shame, the sadness, the silence, it was all gone. And it started with one simple act of love. A kiss from a girl who saw his heart before his crown. The next morning, David didn't go to school. Not because he was sick, but because his heart was full. Full of emotions, full of questions, full of something he had never felt before: love. He sat by the window in his room, staring at his phone. After a deep breath, he dialed Annabelle's number. She picked up almost immediately. "Hello, David," she said with a soft voice. "Are you okay?" David tried to sound weak. "I'm not feeling too well. I don't think I can come to school today." "Oh no," Annabelle said, clearly worried. "I'm coming right away." David was shocked. "Wait, what? You're coming here?" "Yes," she said quickly. "I want to see you. Don't worry, I'll be there soon." Before David could say another word, she had already ended the call. 20 minutes later, there was a knock at the door. David opened it and saw her, Annabelle, standing there in a simple blue dress, her eyes full of concern. "David," she said, walking in. "Are you all right? You sounded weak on the phone." He closed the door and scratched the back of his head. I have to tell you something." She looked confused. "What is it?" "I'm not sick," he said slowly. "What?" "I lied. I just wanted to talk to you. Privately." Annabelle raised her eyebrows but didn't say anything. David looked into her eyes. "Haven't you noticed anything different about me?" he asked. She tilted her head and nodded. "Yes, I did." but I didn't know how to say it. I didn't want to offend you. You can say it, he said gently. Well, she smiled shyly. I noticed that your breath doesn't smell anymore. I wasn't sure at first, but yesterday when we talked after that kiss, it felt different. David took her hand and led her to sit beside him on the edge of the bed. There's something I need to tell you, he said softly. Something big. Annabelle listened closely. David took a deep breath and began to speak. He told her everything. About the curse. About the prophet. About how only a kiss from someone with true love could break it. And how for years nothing worked. When he finished, Annabelle was speechless. You mean, my kiss? She asked quietly. David nodded. Your kiss broke the curse, Annabelle. You set me free. I didn't know how to thank you. But I knew I had to tell you the truth. Her eyes filled with tears. David. He held her hands tightly. You didn't just save me from shame. You gave me hope. You gave me peace. And now, I want to give you something too. Annabelle looked at him, her heart beating fast. I love you, Annabelle, David said, his voice shaking slightly. I love you with everything I have. And if you'll have me, I want to marry you one day. I want to spend my life with you. Annabelle covered her mouth, her eyes wide and teary. David, I love you too, she whispered. From the first day you helped me in class without saying a word, I knew you were special. She smiled through her tears. Yes, I accept you. I accept your love. I accept everything. David smiled with joy and pulled her into a warm, gentle hug. In that quiet room, their hearts spoke louder than words. The news spread through Crown Star University like wildfire. David's mouth no longer smells. At first, many students didn't believe it. What kind of joke is that? One boy said in the hallway, but another added, I'm telling you. Someone said his mother confirmed it. She said the smell is completely gone. The more they talked, the more shocked they became. Soon the whole school was buzzing. The boy they once laughed at, ran away from, and called names like Mr. Dragon Breath was now totally free. In one corner, a group of boys were seated, looking down and shaking their heads. I feel bad, one of them said. I should have been his friend. He sat near me in year 1 and even offered me his pen one day. But I just laughed at him and moved away. Another boy added, imagine being close to a real prince and pushing him away because of a smell. Now he's healed. And I'm just here. They sighed in regret. In another corner, a group of girls gathered under the mango tree near the school gate. One of them, Kemi, was fanning herself as she spoke. Had I known, she said, I would have smiled at him that day he tried to greet me. Another girl rolled her eyes. You? You once said his breath was a weapon of mass destruction. Kemi placed her hand on her chest. I didn't know he would turn out to be like this. If I had been patient, maybe by now I'd be planning my wedding. The third girl joined in. Me too. He once helped me pick my books when they fell, and I didn't even say thank you. I just ran because of the smell. Had I known, maybe I'd be the princess today. They all stood there looking sad, some even jealous. I heard it was one kiss from Annabelle that broke the curse, Kemi added. Yes, another girl said, true love. Can you imagine? One small kiss, and the smell vanished like magic. The others were silent for a moment, then one of them said softly, she saw what we refused to see. Another nodded, and now she has what we'll never have. But one person was burning with rage. Stella. When she heard the news, she threw her phone across the room and screamed. What? She shouted, pacing in her room. He is mine. He was supposed to be mine. I will not let that poor tomato seller's daughter take what belongs to me. Her eyes were full of fire. She was not thinking straight. She was filled with jealousy, hate, and anger. Suddenly she paused and smiled, a dangerous smile. I know what to do. My cousin, Tega, she whispered. Tega was known for trouble. Everyone in the family feared him. He didn't fear police. He didn't fear anybody. Stella knew that if there was one person who could do anything evil, it was him. If I can't have David, she said slowly, no one else will. Not even her. She grabbed her bag, stormed out of the house. Her heart was racing with one goal, destroy Annabelle. As she walked down the road, her mind was boiling. She didn't notice the red light at the intersection. She didn't hear the sound of a speeding vehicle coming down the other side of the road. People were shouting, "Wait! Stop!" But Stella didn't hear. Everything happened so fast. The car hit her hard and threw her to the ground. People rushed to the scene, screaming for help, but it was too late. Stella didn't make it. Her dreams, her plans, her lies, everything ended that day on the road. A few months later, graduation day came. The students wore their gowns, took pictures, and hugged their friends. Among them stood David and Annabelle, side by side, smiling like they had the whole world in their hands. David had changed. He was no longer the quiet boy who hid at the back of the class. He was bold, confident, and full of joy. Annabelle looked like a queen beside him, graceful and calm, her smile shining like sunlight. Everyone admired them. They were made for each other, the students whispered. Not long after graduation, their families came together, and a beautiful wedding was held in the royal palace. David married the girl who gave him freedom. Annabelle married the boy who loved her heart. The wedding was filled with flowers, music, and tears of joy. Even David's mother cried as she watched her son walk proudly with his bride. As they danced under the stars, David whispered into Annabelle's ear, "Thank you for loving me when no one else could." She held his hand tightly. "Thank you for trusting me when everyone else listened to lies." They smiled at each other, their hearts forever joined. And from that day on, they lived happily, not just as husband and wife, but as best friends, true lovers, and a king and queen whose story began with pain, but ended in joy. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.